He asked the question the other day, why don't we talk about him as a natural scorer? And then he gave us the answer right here. This is why we don't talk about him as a natural scorer, because a natural scorer would not be hunting the best shot that his team could get. He would have been hunting the best shot that he could get. And I'm sorry, but this is Ben Simmons-esque in terms of turning the corner on Eric Gordon, being there, and what? Waba, Trae Young, I don't know which one was which in this compared to the other one, but he had a look, and he says, I had a decent look. I just didn't have a great look. Natural scorers, all they need is a decent look. And he's got 6'4", 6'5" guys around him. He is literally the biggest guy on the court, has turned the corner, is at the rim, and says, no, you know what, Carmelo, I think Carmelo's shot might be better than mine. And he even has the natural scorer on the floor with him, saying, you had a really good shot there. Well, I can just hear it. He was making the right basketball play. One more time, making the right basketball play. No, this is why he's not considered a natural scorer. He gave us the answer. So I've always known that, always understood it. But if anybody out there was wondering why we don't, this is why.
Okay. And there's so much wrong.
Take a breath. Take a breath,
wrapped
Nick.
into that, Rick. So here's the thing. This is the wrong play. LeBron screwed up here. This was not the right basketball play. From whatever angle they show it, the best play in this spot would have been LeBron, especially because if they were down 2, then it's a different story because a 3 is so much more valuable than a 2 in that spot. But it's a tie game, so he made the wrong play. And guys are allowed to make the wrong play. This isn't an instance of where LeBron gets criticized for making the right play, which drives me so crazy. I actually think he made the wrong play. I think he screwed up here. But everything else that Rick said, this is why a natural scorer would do this. It's just nonsense. This is actually why this conversation is why he's the greatest player we've ever seen. Because 19 years into it, we are still trying to argue what this is at its root is he don't want to take the last shot. He's afraid. That's what all of this has always come down to. Even after the fact, at 22, he scores, 25 straight to beat the Pistons and take his team to the finals. And then a few years later, the blueprint game, 45, 15, and 5. Oh, but that wasn't the finals. Okay, how about the year after that? What about a game-winning jump shot in Game 7 of the finals? Okay, we're still going to keep debating it. Okay, what about in 2018 where he had in one playoff run almost as many playoff buzzer beaters as Michael Jordan had in his entire career? The fact that we are still doing don't know if LeBron wants to take the last shot because of a screw-up on March of 2022 it is the point and case as to why all of the LeBron-Michael debates, they come down to a wild historical bias. Because we disregard the evidence of Brew, literally the most buzzer beaters of any player to ever play in the postseason. We're like, but he didn't want to take that layup. Think he might have been a little afraid. Moment might have been too big for him. Game 7 of the finals, not too big. But March against the Rockets, too big. He was afraid. It's just nonsense. He made the wrong play. We don't need an autopsy of it.
Well, look, both of you guys Nick took it to a Jordan debate. I didn't know it was going there. But here, look, I agree. Rick, you chose the phrase natural scorer. Now, I do believe LeBron has got to be considered one of the all-time great scorers. He doesn't have the package of Jordan, of Kobe, of Durant, and some of these natural scorers. But he scores as much as anybody, pretty much. And he does it efficiently. I don't care if it's, not as pretty. It's like Shaq. Did he have the package of David Robinson or Elijah Wan? No. But he dunked on you every time, and he did it efficiently. Fine. He was a great scorer. So I like the term, natural scorer, Rick. I thought that was clever, and I think you made a good point because more than the other guys we consider the great scorers. LeBron does have some of that magic in him, Magic Johnson, where he's going to look to pass. So I think you said, the only thing I disagree, Rick, with what you said was the Ben Simmons thing. I wouldn't go there. Ben had like a clean, balanced look. LeBron was off balance. Now, getting to the play, what I think LeBron should have done is gone to the hole stronger. Like you said it, Rick.
Yes.
He's the biggest guy on the court. He should have, just earlier in that quarter, I believe, he had gone down the lane and dunked. Okay? He should have went to those. David Nwaba is 6'5". He should either went there thinking, I'm dunking on these dudes, or instead of kind of avoiding Nwaba, just gone right up and drawn the foul, or maybe gotten a three-point play. After that, he should have taken a reverse layup. Okay? He was open for that. I mean, it's a tough shot. His explanation was correct. It was a tough shot, but he should have taken that. And then the third option, did you notice Westbrook open underneath the basket? Because Jalen Green had fallen. He could either hit Westbrook or Austin Reeves coming to the basket for an easy layup. So LeBron missed that one on several fronts. And that's why it was a bad play by him, Wilds. He missed it on a few fronts.
That's it. By fallen, you mean Westbrook pushed him down. But it's a where,
but they didn't call it. He was going to get
fallen. Right? Okay. Rick, lovely to have you on this segment. I think that we've offered you a warm environment here. We try to be a warm and sort of caring, sensitive show.
Uh-oh.
There is one member of our staff who's just cold-hearted and ruthless, and that is our researcher, Dusty. Dusty, in the pre-production meeting, Dusty's like, I've got a stat you have to use. I'm like, no, I thought it was a good pass. I thought he was too deep under the rim.
I know what this is.
You have to use this, Wilds. I'm going to throw it to Nick. Can we put up, and I will read what Dusty wants me to say. And
LeBron's been bad on game winners with the Lakers.
Ruthless guy.
I'm sure that's
League's
what it is.
worst clutch shooters since LeBron got to the Lakers.
Yeah, he's been bad with the Lakers.
It's not good, and this is not your old buddy Kevin Wilds. I am a conduit for Dusty's ruthlessness that I have to tee you up here. It's not me, but it is a bit of a tough stat to stomach if I were you.
It's not a small
no, I agree. And I know, Wilds, that you're as much of an art historian as I am. The last few paintings of Michelangelo's career weren't as good as the first ones either. He's still the greatest artist ever. That's fine. The last few years, he's been bad at this. Also, by the way, in this run, in this time frame, he did manage to win one of the 3 championships that's been awarded. So I think he's done okay with the Lakers. He has not done great in this exact spot. But this is, again, Rick, this is to the point, which is that there is an idea that he's not clutch, even though he literally has the most game winners in NBA history. And even though he literally won a Game 7 with a 17-foot jump shot, even though we've seen what he does, and we are going to dissect a regular season March bad decision. I'm not here saying it was the right basketball play. I don't think it was, but that is... It is such a ludicrous standard to which he is held.
You don't have to go double negative. It was the absolute wrong basketball play. Don't say, I don't think it was the right basketball play. Say, it was the absolute wrong basketball play. You didn't need a 3. Yes. You only needed a 2.
Agreed.
He's at the rim. He's the biggest guy on the floor. It was the wrong basketball play. And I just answered the question. Why do we think he's not a natural scorer? This is evidence that he's not a natural scorer. You're the one who took it to the whole Jordan. You don't think he's clutch? I didn't say a word. But now that you did,
go ahead.
I can go there.
You're right.
And I will explain why I've always had a question about that. Yes, he has made clutch shots in big spots.
Here we go.
But it's always been a matter of where LeBron James's confidence is from game to game. When he's feeling good in a particular game, then you're going to see him try to take that shot and often make it. I've long thought that I should have been in LeBron's posse from the very beginning because he needed somebody to tell him, no, LeBron, You're a better scorer than you think you are. I don't want you passing it to guys named Boobie and Mo. I want LeBron taking those shots because you are the most talented player on the floor. He didn't have anybody telling him that. It was acceptable that he would be passing it to other guys. And so that's where the original image of LeBron not being a pure scorer, a guy who's going to get it, a guy who's always going to go and look for his shot in a certain situation. And for whatever reason, his confidence comes and goes. I understand why his confidence wouldn't have been there in this game, because he missed quite a few chippies prior to this shot right around the rim. So he's thinking, you know what? Me taking this shot is not the best shot in this instance. And I still would have said, LeBron James, you're the biggest guy on the floor. You are at the rim. You should have taken this shot.
Yeah, he screwed up that play. But this psychoanalysis of why does LeBron James, take this game out of it, insist on doing the best thing for his team as opposed to the best thing to try to emulate what Michael Jordan would do is nonsense. Kobe Bryant Brew, who is considered all-time clutch, all the data tells us, no, not accurate. But the world believes it because they're not actually asking, are you clutch? They are asking, what would Michael Jordan do? That's the question. And Kobe answered that question better than anybody. You're not having a basketball discussion. You're having a Michael Jordan in God's image discussion. And that's the test LeBron's always failed. He refuses to play the way Michael did. And for some folks, that's sacrilegious. Now, again, last night's not the example. Last night he messed up. But it's a bigger, the totality of it is always, it stems from that.
Well, Nick, look, you know I'm not in the LeBron's not clutch camp. All right, he's not as clutch as a Michael Jordan in my view, or Reggie Miller, but he's been clutch. I'll give you that.
Not as clutch as Reggie Miller. I'm leaving the show.
I have to leave.
You go ahead.
You guys tell me what he says.
Conversation?
I'm leaving.
Hold on, I want you to hear this, Nick.
What?
I want you to hear this.
It's not
Here
how
is
TV
the
works.
problem.
Television
Here is
doesn't
one of the
work
problems
that way.
LeBron's had
How did that happen?
at the end of games.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.